What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Pre-Race Pulse right here on Racing America, episode 11 already. Thank you for joining us here on this journey. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got this for you every week. But the season in general, just flying by. 8 more races until the Cup Series playoffs start. And this weekend, we're heading to the Chicago Street Course. The Truck Series, they've got the next 3 weekends off, but Xfinity, Cup, they will be on the streets of Chicago. One of the best weekends of the year. I will be there for TNT in the pits doing all the reporting. I hope you join us and are watching. As for this episode, as always, we start with the big news. And the big news this week came from the garage of the 99 car and Daniel Suarez. Suarez and Team Trackhouse jointly announcing they will no longer be together next year in 2026, mutually agreeing upon a separation. That's their words. Both sides put out pretty nice statements about each other. We have them here. In part, Daniel Suarez says, "I wish Trackhouse nothing but the best. This 99 team will always be special to me, and like I always say, the best is ahead." The owner of Trackhouse, Justin Marks, said something similar, saying, "I'm proud of Daniel as a friend. I'm truly excited to see what happens to him next in chapter of his amazing career. We are grateful for the professionalism, effort, and heart he has brought to our organization." The big question, of course, is what's next? For Trackhouse, we know Connor Zilisch is in the pipeline. They could easily move him up to a Cup car. Daniel Suarez, I don't know where he would go. Who has an opening next year in the Cup Series for him to jump into? That remains to be seen. Do you have an idea? Any theories? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. In other team news, legendary football coach Bill Belichick will have a new boss next year, and he's coming from NASCAR. Yeah, Steve Newmark, president of Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, announced he is moving on to be the athletic director at the University of North Carolina. Big news for that team. Steve Newmark is a staple in the Cup Series garage, been with Roush for more than 15 years, and really served to be that bridge from the transition when it was just Roush to then Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. Good luck to Steve Newmark. Get us some football tickets. We'll see you in the future. Do you hear that noise? Yeah, that's a garbage disposal getting rid of my in-season tournament bracket. Yeah, everyone's brackets were destroyed because of Atlanta. One big crash at the beginning of Stage 2 took out so many big players that it ruined just about everyone's bracket. Maybe that's the good part. All of our brackets are ruined. Only a few big names left. Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick are all still in. But there are a lot of underdog names that could still go on and win this thing. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think can continue to go on and make an upset? This in-season tourney has been pretty fun. People are starting to talk trash. The drivers are really getting into it. I want to see who wins the $1 million. Let's go to our hot topics now. Reports out of Chicago suggest the future of the Chicago Street Race is still up in the air. Look, the initial contract was for 3 seasons. This weekend will be the third race of that contract. Will we race in Chicago next year? That remains to be seen. There are reports from The Athletic that there will be a street race in San Diego next year, possibly replacing the Chicago Street Race if it doesn't come back. Look, if Chicago doesn't come back, what we have to remember is its legacy. Chicago Street Race will go down as one of the most important races in NASCAR history. I say that because it proved NASCAR can go anywhere on the planet and make a racetrack. If you can do it in a world-class city in Chicago, in one of the most populated areas, if you can put a racetrack there, you can race anywhere in the world. San Diego, Paris, wherever you want to go, you can race there because of what NASCAR learned in Chicago. Does it come back next year? I don't know. Does it come back in the future? I certainly hope so. It's a great city, a great host, and a great racetrack. One thing you have to pay attention to this weekend is the entry list for the Cup Series race in Chicago. 41 cars are entered. That sounds funny, right? Yeah, because only 40 cars make it. We haven't seen this since Daytona. One car will have to go home and will not race after qualifying. A bunch of cars, bunch of teams want to jump in and get in on this race. Will Brown for Colleague Racing. Austin Hill jumps in to a Richard Childress car, a third car. Josh Bilicki will be there. Corey Heim for 2311 Racing. Catherine Legg. They're among the drivers trying to qualify. One of them will be sent home. We don't see it often. No team's taken that open exemption. So qualifying, more drama than usual this weekend. Another cool story to look at this weekend, athletes from outside of NASCAR getting involved in racing. NFL defensive end Zadarius Smith is a part of the Redline Motorsports group that will sponsor Brad Perez in Chicago and hopes to start a full-time entry in NASCAR in 2026. It's always cool when outside athletes recognize how cool, how important, how athletic NASCAR can be and want to get involved. We'll see where this goes, but it all starts with some sponsorship this weekend. For more on all these stories, make sure you check out Racing America on SI. All right, we've hyped it up. Let's talk about the Chicago street course itself. It is on some of the busiest streets in the city of Chicago. It is a 2.2 mile course with 12 turns, really tight turns, and like 90-degree ones that drivers have trouble negotiating sometimes. But what's interesting is the high speeds that this track has and the number of passing zones for a road course we don't often see. So think about that. You have tight turns, high speeds, and passing zones, all for these drivers to negotiate. That's why this has become one of the more popular street courses in the world. The first 2 years, it was really driven under wet conditions. Let's hope that stays dry this year, but that'll give us a different kind of vibe, a different kind of race if the whole weekend is dry. So a lot to learn for these 40 drivers on Sunday. One thing they may have to contend with, the heat has been so hot in Chicago. Some of the roads started buckling. They had to repave some of the bumpy areas. It's already a bumpy track. Now they're putting on some new pavement and parts of the road they had to fix. This is all new stuff they have to learn and practice and qualifying and apply for the race. Like we said, 2 big races this weekend. Xfinity on Saturday. You can watch that 4:30 p.m. Eastern Saturday on the CW. The Cup race, 2 p.m. Sunday on TNT. Remember, this group of races on TNT, it started with Echo Park, Chicago. Then we move on to Sonoma, Dover, and Brickyard, all on TNT. This weekend, though, it's 2 p.m. Eastern on TNT Sports. All right, let's talk winners, predictions. On Saturday, it's the Xfinity Series. This one, maybe it's easy, maybe it's low-hanging fruit. I'm going with Connor Zilisch. He has so many skills when it comes to road racing, street course racing. I think he gets it done. On Sunday, though, I promise, I'm going with a surprise, an upset, a first-time winner, a potential in-season tournament bracket buster. Ty Gibbs gets it done. Career win number 1 is coming on Sunday for Ty. We saw how good he was in Mexico City. He improves and gets the win on Sunday. First time for the number 54 driver. Thank you for joining us here today on our new show, The Pre-Race Pulse, right here on Racing America. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every Thursday, 6 p.m., a new episode drops to preview the upcoming racing weekend. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next weekend.